16 minutes past 6 in the morning. I was like, I'm shook. If we ever broke up, I'd never be sad. I hope you're having a good morning. We're here to make sure that it goes amazing. You're listening to the Morning Fix on 96.3 Nation FM. This is absolutely where good music lives. My name is Mariam Bishar.
Host bankable, host Brian Aseli, and I'm telling you, that song just really is strange. One day we're going to talk about it. Right now, we jump straight to the papers, and we are focusing on the hits, misses, as our president and this government marks 1 year in office. We are going to just simplify it for you just to check out the scorecard on what has really been going down for a year. And this is in comparison to the manifesto that the Kenya Kwanza government actually made an announcement about when they were doing their campaigns. But here we are, 365 days later.
Absolutely. So the scorecard is full of hits and misses, as Brian mentioned. Of course, about 55% of Kenyans feel that the cost of 65% actually feel that the cost of living is a major issue that needs to be addressed by the sitting government. President Ruto's performance has been graded at 55%. His deputy scored 47%, a little bit lower. Interior CS Kithure Kindiki was the highest rated cabinet secretary performance-wise by Kenyans at 59%. There's a few more like the health CS who also performed quite well, as well as the CS for education, Machogu as well performed quite well. Then there's a few who performed average, like Aden Duale, Kipchumba Murkomen, etc., who were rated average by Kenyans. So the scorecard it comes from a poll done by Infotrack that asked Kenyans how they feel the country is doing 1 year into the Ruto administration. A lot of Kenyans feel, in Nairobi especially, Western and Nyanza, about 67% of Kenyans felt dissatisfied with how things were going. Yes. However, in Central and Northeastern, a good amount of the population there felt that Kenya was headed in the right direction.
Hapo sawa kabisa. And I feel like Kenyans were pretty much focusing on the hikes of living as one of the promises. We were promised some of the products in the market are going to actually have a price drop, but then it's been affected by the inflation, and the percentage seems to be going higher and higher. The dollar also, and how it's being drummed up, it's quite crazy. By Monday, the dollar was exchanging at 146 shillings. Plus some cents up.
Plus change, yeah.
Plus change. So right now, let's focus on the hits. Hits are Hustler Fund. Ni kama imekuwa major success because it's also destabilizing some of the circles in the market. Right now, cheap fertilizer also for the farmers counts as one of the, it counts as reprieve for the farmers. Digitalization of government services. We've seen it's not been easy, but of course, mi nataka tu ile ya passport tumalizane haraka. Implementation of CBC, yeah, it's okay, not fully implemented, but at least they've made a little bit of change. Restoring security, North Rift, that is one of them. Police financial autonomy is one of the major hits. Reducing the cost of basic commodities is a miss. Reducing the cost of fuel, a miss. Establishing a quasi-judicial public inquiry of state capture, a miss. Complete transfer of all devolved functions of the counties in 6 months, a miss. And of course, they promised in 60 days there'll be a balance. We'll be having the 2/3 gender rules within the first year.
Yeah, so those are the major hits and misses. Of course, there's a full spread on page 3, 4, 5 of the Daily Nation talking about the Infotrack poll and how Kenyans feel 1 year into the Ruto administration. The cost of living is interesting because for the first time this month, in the last month actually, August, we saw inflation go down below 7.5%, which is what was the goal. In June and July, we were at about 9.1% and 9.6% respectively. So for the first time in a long time, inflation seems to be on the downward trend, but that's because of food prices going a little bit lower with maize harvest, etc. However, like you said, the cost of fuel and a lot of other basic amenities is still quite high.
Yes.
We've got some new Fena music. That's what I'll be calling it. Fena music coming your way with Let Me Go. Then Water by Tyler. Brian's still waiting for you to do the challenge. Maybe it can be your birthday challenge as well.
Maybe, just maybe.
Hanging out those new tracks louder than anyone else. Nation FM, where good music